It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more Ali Land boxing talk. So let's get it.
I don't discredit the sport. I discredit the so-called executors of the sport, the people that are supposedly supposed to be enforcing the sport, looking out for the sport, ruling over the sport. I put an indictment on them. An indictment on them. They are corrupt.
I wish 50 Cent the best luck in the world in this endeavor that he's doing. But this is something that 50 Cent has to know. That when you're dealing with something like boxing and you're dealing with human beings, we call it peddling in flesh. Even though you're paying them, it's still, dealing in flesh,
Wow.
People are life in general is very short and it's unpredictable, but life is more unpredictable than it is short. So you have to understand you're dealing with human beings, so you're dealing with the probability of anything happening.
Wow.
And you have to also know this about boxing. It's the only business in the world. It's the only business, legalized business, that everything is not always on top of the table. There's always something.
The IBF years ago, Bob Lee, the president, he got caught on videotape taking money. He was the president of the IBF. Everyone forgets a few years ago, there was a woman judge, $30,000 wound up in her bank account after a bad decision.
You don't really know the ins and outs of boxing. He knows probably what Floyd tells him. But once he gets in this arena,
it's a wrap.
Once he gets in this arena, anybody that was ever his friend that's on the other side is his enemy. Their job is to totally decimate.
There's no oversight board in boxing. There's no commission. There's no national commission. No federal guidelines. Nobody looking and saying, can't do that. Can't do that. You can't be in charge. Promoter can't be in charge of who the judges are going to be. No, of course you want these judges. You can't be in charge. We're in charge. We're going to oversee it. We're going to police it. We're going to make sure that there's no corruption.
Boxing was developed from gangs. The old Irish guys, old Dutch guys. It was a guy named Jim Bleacher.
Wow.
And he always put his slash on his corner. So that's how we got the red and blue corner. But you know what the red means? That's my gang. That's the representation of the gang, my political gang. If I win this fight, like the ancient, if I win this fight against your champion, it's all gangs. Gangs. It's all originated from gangs. The whole world. If my gang wins this fight, we own the whole district until you get a champion that could beat my fighter. If you don't want to accept that challenge, my gang against your gang, then a lot of people die. So they pick their champion and his champion, and the red represents, and the blue, Democrat and Republican.
Yo, it's your boy Cardinal Red, and we back for some more Ali Land boxing talk. And today's topic is corruption within boxing. I just wanted to get into this topic for one reason, really. I feel like corruption has really ruined the sport of boxing. It's really taken the sport of boxing down a notch or two. And it's not just corruption from judges or corruption from referees or corruption from bad promoters. It's starting to be corruption within boxing, within boxers, trainers, members of boxers' crews. The corruption is starting to run really deep, and it's starting to really affect the sport of boxing. I think first we should start with bad decisions, man, within boxing. The last few years I saw a lot of bad decisions when it comes to the sport of boxing. You can look at the Canelo Triple G fight. You can look at the Pacquiao Horn fight. A lot of people think that Pacquiao won the Maypac fight. You can look at you could just look at a lot of examples from the past couple of years to where the outcome of the fight was clear to everyone except the judges for some reason. It seems like that there are more agendas at play when the fight is left up to the hands of the judges. I don't know if it's maybe the judges are expecting more knockouts in these fights just to give them some leeway, or if the judges are just straight corrupt, or are there forces behind the judges making these decisions. And the problem with boxing and the way the boxing is promoted, and the way the boxing is ran is you'll never know who the dirty hands behind these decisions are, because there's so many moving parts within boxing. You know, there's, like I said, trainers, there's crew members, there's promoters, TV networks. You never know who's the shady one pulling the strings. You know, most of the time, and 9 times out of 10, people are gonna point back to the promoter because he has the most to gain. But I mean, just look at the Pacquiao Jeff Horn fight. People say that Freddie Roach kind of, screwed Pacquiao over by not really being a better corner man, but not, standing up for his fighter, by speaking ill of him within interviews, by saying stuff behind his back, and then saying something else totally different when, Pacquiao puts his 2 cents in on it. So we'll never know, as far as bad decisions, why these outcomes come out the way that they do. I mean, Pacquiao for the past couple of years has really gotten the long end of the stick when it comes to bad decisions. And I just feel like, there's something else, and in those situations, I would have to point more towards Bob Arum and, him wanting to, not so much retire Pacquiao, not put him out of his misery, but, bail Pacquiao out. It's time for the next crop of fighters. In his eyes, he wants to. I think he was kind of trying to set him up to be knocked out, by one of his younger fighters. Put it that way, and in situations like that, Manny Pacquiao still has enough left in the tank to beat a lot of these younger fighters, which is crazy just to think about that. But for Bob Arum to try to set him up, and for Pacquiao obviously to have caught the rabbit before we hit the trap, and kind of moved on and started his own little team of promotional service, and trying to end his career on his own terms. It's crazy, man. Let's move on to trainers. Do I feel as if Freddie Roach is corrupted by the sport of, not by the sport of boxing, but by, I guess, being tied in to Top Rank promotions, and maybe he has to do and say certain things because of his contract with Top Rank. Maybe or maybe his love for Bob Arum is just that deep. I don't know why Freddie Roach acts the way he acts. You could say it's the Parkinson's. I mean, it could be the fact that he's old, but is he corrupted from? Has he been corrupted by Bob Arum to turn on Pacquiao? I would have to say at this point it's almost 50-50, but I still don't believe Pacquiao's fired him completely. I think he wants to feel out the situation and make sure he's not putting himself in a bad situation going into these last few fights within his career. He wants to come out, victorious and financially victorious. So would I put, some of the last few fights that Pacquiao's lost on the back of Freddie Roach because of corruption of Top Rank? Maybe. It's about the best I could say. Because I'm a Freddie Roach fan, and I really don't want to throw him completely under the bus, but there has been some shady stuff surrounding Pacquiao's last few fights, and unfortunately Freddie Roach's name has been in the middle of a lot of it. So we just like I said, man, there's so many moving parts, we'll never truly know. What about corruption within fighters camps and fighters? They have such big entourages, that, you know, sometimes maybe people sell information, maybe people give away secrets that fighters don't, you know, really won't put out there. Somehow, obviously, it got out there to Floyd about Pacquiao's shoulder injury when it came to the Maypac fight. You know, how he got that type of information. Like I said, so many moving parts. We'll never know, but I'm pretty sure somebody within Pacquiao's camp or somebody within the media that when they were doing them training days noticed that he his shoulder was not performing up to 100%, and that's some pretty useful information to a fighter opponent who's prepared to make that type of money, you know. And we all saw the Floyd was pulling on the arm, was punching the arm and the shoulder rather during the fight. So how he got that information, it was great information on his part to get, to be able to, you know, take advantage of it. But that just shows the corruption within fighters' own camps and maybe fighters' circles of reporters and things that they choose to trust. You know, you can't really. Trust is a hard thing to come by nowadays, man. In the internet age, and, you know, everybody wanting to go viral, and everybody, you know, want to expose you for something, you know, try to make you look fake and put you on the internet, trying to get you beat up and all. You know, the world's a crazy place right now, man. So you never know why a person would be willing to sell you out or sell information that's that critical to your victory or to you progressing within your sport for whatever dirty little agenda they have, man, you know. So corruption within fighters' own camps, I think, is very high. And I think it's not a lot of loyalty within friends, you know, nowadays. It's not a lot of loyalty within anything nowadays, man. So for a guy who's making millions of dollars to have a guy in his camp who's salty, it's dangerous, man. It's real dangerous. It can lead to situations like I just said, to where guys will start selling information and start selling you out because they feel like you're progressing more than what you should, or you're progressing so fast that you're leaving them behind. And, you know, sometimes that can turn a good friend sour, man. So I guess we'll leave it there, man, for now. Maybe I'll do a part 2 about corruption in boxing, and maybe we'll be able to get to the bottom of some of these decisions and some of the other things that happen within fighters' careers. It's your boy Cardinal Red. This is Ali Land Boxing Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed, man. And please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to take Ali Land Boxing Talk as far as I can take it, man. All right, y'all. Till next time. Yeah, buddy.